everyone, and welcome back to the second episode of the 20-somethings podcast. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm your host, Emily. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that's been on my mind ever since I've started going back home for the holiday breaks, and that's moving back home post-graduation. If you're a senior like me, being home for the holidays holds a few different feelings. There are little realizations this time around going home for the holidays that this is going to be reality at this point next year. And it comes with a mix of emotions. It comes with feelings of gratitude and confusion and maybe even a little dread. Sorry, Mom. But making the transition from college back to home is like making this transition from independence to familiarity. In college, we get used to our routines. We live on our own terms, we make our own rules, we're on our own agenda, we don't have to explain anything to anybody, life is great. And of course, while we're in college and our parents are giving us rent money and grocery money to survive, there's just something about having your own place that really does build a sense of independence. And with that, living at home can feel weird. And even though it's weird, living home post-grad is a practical decision. Straight out of college, the job market can be rough, rent is super expensive, and living at home can be a smart decision to get on your feet. But it's strange because as you feel like you're getting on your feet, you can also struggle with these feelings of feeling like you're losing the independence you spent the last 4 years building. And moving back at home also means navigating family dynamics. It means maybe having to give an explanation of where you're going and who you're with and what time are you going to be back home. And this is definitely an adjustment because I never do these things when I'm at college. But living back at home isn't bad, it's just different. And different things take time to get used to. But going back home can also make you realize how much you can really outgrow an environment. When I think of my hometown where I went to high school at, I think of a chapter that is very much close. There's people, there's places, and so many things that made up an old version of myself that no longer exists. And it's funny, when I was home over Thanksgiving break, I went out to the bar with one of my friends, and I got a little slap of reality when we were out. I got our first round of drinks, and I went to go pay, and I saw the receipt, and I was like, oh my god, my college bar would never charge such a bill for these 2 drinks that we just got. And when I paid the tab, I joked to my friend, I am not ready for real life to hit. But even though this was such a silly little thing, it really is an example of how little these reminders start to build up when you're visiting home for the holidays, knowing that this is going to become your reality soon. I mean, even just in that one night, I already got that post-grad slap of reality where drinks are going to be pricier. The vibe is going to be different. You're not going to know 80% of the people that are in the bar that you walk into. And this new chapter of life is going to come with new realizations and adjustments. But what I think is important to understand from these new realities is that you can make a new routine in an old place. Moving back at home can feel like trying to fit a puzzle piece into an old frame. Being in your childhood bedroom can be weird and strange. It's like living in the shell of somebody that no longer exists. But in this situation, there is a chance to reimagine what home means for you. Maybe that even means just taking over the spare guest bedroom at home and turning that into your home office or your creative space, somewhere where you can take a piece of the independence that you have built while you were away at school and continue to carry it on at home. In my personal situation, I plan to take this approach. My mom has just happened to move into a new place where the whole second floor is completely finished and empty, and she has given me the green light to take over the space and basically turn it into my own mini apartment. And I am so incredibly grateful that she has given me that space because it will truly keep me sane. I have plans of creating my own little home office creative space where I can do work and editing and have my little podcast corner with my cute little chair and my decorations, and even replicate the layout of my college bedroom just at home. And well, of course, I know this is not everybody's situation. even just something as simple as the spare guest bedroom, or even redoing your childhood bedroom. Having pieces of the person you've become and taking that and putting it back at home into your space at home really can help you maintain your sense of self and your identity that you have created over the past 4 years. And now it's so okay to feel conflicted about this transition moving home. It's okay to feel super grateful that your parents are putting a roof over your head, while also at the same time being frustrated by having to completely uproot the way you used to live life and make adjustments. And it's also normal to feel this weird balance where some days you're so excited to start this new chapter of your life at home, but you're also mourning or you're nostalgic of the freedom that you had when you were in college. But it also is important to remember when struggling with these feelings of missing college that college is a bubble. And I'm not saying that it's fake, but it definitely shields you from the realities of adulthood. The lack of responsibility, the late night study session, the 5-minute walk to any of your best friends' houses, the cheap drinks at the bars. It's just not real life. And I think that settles in a little more each time we go home for holiday breaks as we creep closer and closer to that graduation date. But there is one point that I really do want to make in this episode about moving back home post-grad. This is not only something that I want you all to hear, but I even remind myself this all the time when I start to have negative thoughts or conflicting feelings about this transition. Moving back home post-college graduation is not failing, and it is not a step backwards. It is simply just a part of the process and a part of starting a new chapter in life. And the most important thing to remember with this is that you get to decide how this chapter of your life plays out, because you are in control of your life, and it is only your path that you are on, nobody else's. Because comparison is the thief of joy, so never, ever be comparing your path post-graduation to anyone else's. So if you are staring down the post-grad life rabbit hole and wondering how on earth you're going to navigate it, just know you are not alone. Many other people are going through this exact same situation, including myself. And so many of us are still figuring it out one step at a time. But with that, I would love to thank you for joining me on today's episode. And if this resonated with you, I would love to hear about how you are navigating this post-graduation life dilemma, or what approaches you plan on taking. Or if you're someone that already has gone through this transition, I'd love to hear how you went about it and what things helped, what things didn't, and any advice you possibly have to offer to everyone else. But with that, also, don't forget to follow so that you're around for the next episode. And let's support each other through this transition. See you next time.